Hi, this is David Dusek, senior writer with Golfweek magazine, and welcome to a very special edition of the Winner's Circle. Rory McIlroy finally broke through and won for the very first time using his Nike equipment when he won Sunday at the BMW PGA Championship on the European Tour. I had an opportunity to talk with Rory while he was rushing to make a plane on Monday morning and ask him a few questions about his gear. I started with his driver. This year he's using a Nike VRS Covert 2.0 driver, and I asked him what the difference is between that driver and the one he used last year, the VRS Covert, the original. Here's what Rory told me.
I think there's a couple of main differences. Obviously, bigger head size. You know, this Covert 2.0 that I'm using is 460 cc's, and it spins a little bit more for me, which is a good thing. I felt like, you know, I like to hit the ball with a draw, which obviously can spin off it. So, you know, I like to see my driver with a little bit more spin. You know, I was sort of around the 2.1, 2.2 spin rate last year with the Covert, and now I'm up around 2.5, 2.6 with the Covert 2.0, which I like to see. Gives me more confidence on the golf course that, you know, the ball's not really going to get away from me if I do make a bad swing. And I've noticed, a bit more ball speed, you know, and with having, you know, quite a high ball speed, I can get away with having a little bit more spin. I can still get it out there a long way. So, but yeah, I mean, since I put the Covert 2.0 in the bag last October, you know, I've driven the ball, you know, much better and a lot longer as well. You know, once I got that new, you know, driver ball combo, you know, I gained a lot of confidence, and I think you can see that through the, you know, my plan and the results over the past sort of, you know, 8 months.
I also had an opportunity to talk with Rory about why he hasn't switched into the new Nike VRS Covert 2.0 fairway woods. He's still sticking with the ones that he began the season with last year, the Nike VRS Covert, the original ones. Here's what he told me about fairway woods and why it's tricky for a lot of PGA Tour players to make the switch from an old fairway wood into a new one.
Yeah, you know, I think, you know, fairway woods are they're very individual. I see some guys on tour that are, you know, playing fairway woods that are, you know, 6-7 years old, just because, you know, once you find a good one, it's hard to let it go in a way. And yeah, I mean, you need, especially nowadays, you need a 3-wood that can do all sorts. You know, you need it for off the tee because, guys are hitting it so long now that, you know, you can still get 3-wood out there to, you know, 280, 290. And you also need it to perform off the deck and off the fairway if you're going into par 5. So it needs to, you know, it needs to have the right amount of spin as well. You need to be able to launch it pretty high going into greens, but you also need to be able to, you know, it needs, you know, it's a club that, you know, you need to really be able to do everything with. And I think that's why once someone gets confidence in a fairway wood or a 3-wood, it's you know, it's hard to sort of let that go. So you know, I feel like I've got a really good one right now, and that's why it's still in the bag. And you know, it's been performing well for me, and you know, it'll hopefully keep performing well for me, you know, going forward.
I also asked Rory McIlroy how long he's been using his new Nike VR X3X toe sweep wedge and why he decided to put it in play for the very first time in one of the biggest events on the European Tour, the BMW PGA Championship. Here's what he explained to me.
Yeah, you know, I've been messing around with the toe sweep wedge for a few weeks. I guess I got them to try out in Quail Hollow. I got Quail Hollow with the players, so it hasn't been that long, 2 or 3 weeks. Been messing around with them, and you know, I just, you know, the first thing that I noticed was just how well it performed out of the rough. For me, you know, if there was one area in my game this year that I felt needed a little bit of improvement, it was my scrambling, and especially scrambling out of the rough. So, you know, that's why, you know, I was just messing around at home one day and decided to bring them out and give them a go. And hitting, you know, these little chip shots out of the rough, they became a lot more predictable for me. You know, I knew how they were going to react, how they were going to come out, where in the past with like a more traditional wedge, you know, I'd get one that would come out soft, the next one would come out hot, and you know, it would be a little bit of guesswork. Where this sort of takes that guesswork out of it, and you know exactly what it's going to do because the way it's designed, you know, there's no grass that gets caught, you know, the hosel doesn't get caught and the club just doesn't turn over. You know, it slides sort of straight through the grass, and you know, you can control the club face a lot better, and you know what way the golf ball is going to react when it comes out. So, that was the biggest difference for me. And then, I've went up a little bit in the bounce as well, so it helped out at bunkers. I was always a guy that didn't like much bounce in my wedge, but the way the toe sweep sits, I feel like I can get away with having a little bit more bounce, and that helps out of the bunkers.
Here's a complete list of the golf clubs that Rory McIlroy used to win the BMW PGA Championship on the European Tour. For a driver, he had a Nike VRS Covert 2.0 Tour with 8.5 degrees of loft and a Mitsubishi Rayon Kurakage XTX 70X shaft. For fairway woods, he used a Nike VRS Covert, a 15 degree along with a 19 degree, and both of those had Fujikura Rombex Pro 95 X Flex shafts. His irons are Nike VR Pro Blades, a 4 through 9 iron, and those had Project X 7.0 shafts. His wedges are Nike VR Forged, a 47, 52, and 56 degree, along with a Nike VR X3X Toe Sweep 59 degree wedge. All those have Project X 7.0 shafts. His putter is a Nike Method 006, and Rory McIlroy's golf ball of choice is a Nike RZN Black. I want to thank Rory McIlroy for making himself available to me, and thank you for joining me inside the Winner's Circle.